What's up, everyone? This is Christian Duke. You're watching Strength Addicts here on Instagram Live, brought to you courtesy of BlackstoneLabs.com, the holy grail of bodybuilding supplements. Remember, if you're looking for the most hardcore bodybuilding supplements, go on over to BlackstoneLabs.com. And if you're looking to get involved in the fitness industry, there is no better way to do so than by applying to join the Blackstone Labs Legion. Make it a point to do it today. Also, big thank you to our supporting sponsor, TitanMedicalCenter.com, for all your hormone replacement therapies, glutathione, injectable vitamins, the new ECA Plus stack, and so much more. So, guys, today's guest, she's awesome. I've been following her on Instagram for quite some time. We're going to jump right into the fun, and we're going to talk about how Rachel discovered the weights and competing and so much more. What's up?
Hi.
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I've been better. I was at H&R Block, as I told you, and you got to pay the tax, man. And I'm still not done, but I'm glad I'm here with you. So thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
And I noticed that Ron Harris, online editor-in-chief of Muscular Development, asked if you were a pro yet. And you gotta love that, because Ron sees a lot of physique. So I mean, he sees pro caliber in you, and as do I.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's always been a goal, and unfortunately, I've only done one national level show so far, so I really only had one shot at it.
Wow, just one, huh?
Well, yeah. I went to watch a couple times. I went to 2 universes before competing in one, and I thought, oh my goodness, these women are fantastic. I can't do this. And then I thought, you know what? Yes, I can. So I gave it a go in 2019.
And no pressure, though. I mean, you went to Steve Weinberger's universe. I mean, that's like that's a monster show. The old universe used to be the team universe, and I know you know that, but for the folks that don't, the old team universe used to be that every person that won that would then join Team USA and then go to Mr. Universe and compete against everyone. So, I mean, at the World Championship. So, I mean, that's a big, big event, and it still is a huge event. It's massive. So, how did you? My gosh, some of these questions, Rachel, are going to seem so canned, but the thing is that the questions may be canned, but the answers are not. So, how did you come to discover? I mean, everything. I mean, we'll talk about the competing later, but how did you discover the gym? Did you come from an athletic background, high school, college, or did you just buy a mag? I mean, how did it all happen?
Not at all. I'm not good at competitive sports. Not at all. I came out of college heavy. I gained my weight, and I moved back to Buffalo. Went to college at New Paltz, downstate, and moved back to Buffalo. And my dad and stepmom had offered to buy me a 3-month membership to a gym. And we're talking, I was 22. This is like 1997 or so. And so I'm like, all right, I'm whatever, sure, I'll go for it. And I started doing classes, 3 times a week, and started to realize I was losing weight, I was looking better, I was feeling better about myself. And then fast forward, I guess from then, I started going to the gym, but really, I was cardio gal. I would do, some cardio classes. And then actually, my ex-husband had told me, I don't know, probably early 2000s, that I might enjoy these sculpting classes in the gym. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. And that's where I learned form. I had no idea what to do with dumbbells or barbells, sit-ups, push-ups, any of that. I mean, I would take these classes and I would dance around the step and do spin. So I started realizing that who knew I had muscle and people would tell me I look great. I got compliments, and I just kind of stuck with it. Then after I had my children, I have 2 kids, I couldn't just do classes anymore. I had to go to the gym whenever I was able to go to the gym, and I had to make up my own routine. So, but that was before all the social media stuff, and I was getting the Muscle Fitness Hers, and my ex-husband would get, the other muscle magazines, and I would read, and I would study, and I would go to the gym and pick up dumbbells and do my own little routine. And eventually people would ask me if I competed. And I said, oh, no, I just do this for fun. And well, I mean, it led me into competing.
Well, I think it's interesting too, Rachel, that you started out with those classes because, you know, those classes are pretty intense. And, you know, a lot of physique-based athletes, you know, they wouldn't be able to hang for 10 minutes in those things. And I'm a big fat guy, so I'm not judging, but I'm just saying it's, you know, they're very, very intense. It sounds like your ex-husband was very supportive of you picking up the arm, which is really cool. So kudos to him for that. Because a lot of guys are like, you know, they want to keep their women like just away from the spotlight. I mean, forget the stage. They don't even want them like near the stage or even near the iron. That's why so many women are cardio bunnies. You know, I don't really think it's just because the women are scared of the weights. I think they're men kind of, you know. But the other thing too is that you went to a sculpting class, and I'm an idiot. When you said that, I was thinking of you like in a sculpture class, you know, like a pottery, but you actually went to a sculpting class to learn how to sculpt the muscle, right? So I think that's really cool. So that must have added a whole new perspective to it because it went from, you know, just randomly doing different lifts to each lift having a function, right?
Exactly. And I learned, and there's a woman, in fact, I'm friends with her on Facebook. And whenever I post a physique picture or a show picture, she always compliments me. And I always say, Terry, it's because of you. You taught me. You know, and she'll be very humble and say, oh, no, but she did. I mean, she taught me form. And yeah, I started out with 5-pound weights and I worked my way up, but that's how I learned.
Absolutely. So, but I mean, your physique is so good. And, you know, I see so many physiques, you know, I'm not doing contest coverage for the foreseeable future, but while I did it, I must have done 1,000, 1,500 interviews. So I've done quite a few. And you just posted a shot. I mean, your delts are all flared up. I mean, if this was 10 years ago, you'd have been accused of, you know, like photoshopping, airbrushing, also. But there's no effects there. That is an original photo.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how did your physique evolve from that? Because some people look at that physique and they're like, so what if she doesn't have a pro card? That's better than the pro card. To have that look without any lights or effects. I mean, you know what I mean? How long did it take for you to transform to that?
Well, I first competed in 2013. You know, I live in Buffalo, so my ex-husband had taken me to the Mr. Miss Buffalo. That's our local NPC show. And I went twice. And again, he told me, you could do that. And I said, oh, no, I can't. Put on a bikini, you know, in front of all these people. And he said, great, you can do it. And so I started to kind of pretend I knew what I was doing. And I would study, again, read up on things. And I talked to some people at the gym, and I set my sights on a show. It was it's called Natural Muscle Association, which is local here in Buffalo. Okay. And I really didn't know what I was doing, and I was very, very I was skinny. I mean, I was skinny, with muscle, but skinny. And a good friend of mine, unfortunately, he passed away during the summer, but when we were younger, he competed. You know, we were 20, 21, going out, and he was home eating tuna fish. So I contacted him and I said, listen, I want to compete in 8 weeks. And he thought I was nuts. He had not seen what I looked like. So we met and he was like, let's do it. And I competed in October 2013. He taught me as much as he could from what he knew, and I won. And that was sort of my defining moment. And from there, you know, then I got really into it. And then I was thinking, I need to get better. And that's really what it was about. And, you know, I'm consistent. You know, since 2013 to now, I keep going and I keep trying to be better, you know, trying to put forth as much effort as I can in the gym, and tweaking my diet, tweaking cardio, not doing cardio. And here, I mean, I guess, and I keep I keep evolving. I'm 46 and, you know,
I'm just like, wow, that I heard, like, and people sometimes ask, like, what are you looking at down there? I'm looking because the comments are down there, so that's why.
Oh,
you know, yeah. But people are saying, you know, the $1 million mindset, and it is. I mean, because you know, you have that, you know, that tunnel vision, you know, and I think that's fantastic. But I hear a lot of Have you ever worked with a coach, or please tell me you're not self-prepping, because if you are, you're going to put all coaches out of business because you look phenomenal.
Well, I have in the past. I have prepped myself in the past. Again, I learned, you know, from my friend, and I took what he gave me. In fact, at one point, you know, he was out of town and giving me, you know, bits and pieces of information over the phone. I've had, you know, there are people in my life that help me in the gym, that help me with diet, and so they sort of, you know, coach me.
Now, would you say, now this, I think I know the answer to this question. I think most people know the answer to this question. Would you say that you are your harshest critic?
Yes.
Because I feel like, you know, like, especially like looking as good as you do, I feel like there's going to be people around you that are going to tell you that you're the best thing since sliced bread. You don't need to change anything. You're perfect. You're going to go on the show and destroy everybody. But I think that you know that you look good, but I think you probably still have some of that 2013 left in you where, I don't know if it's doubt, but maybe it's I don't know if it's doubt at this point, because I think you know how good you look, but I think it's still maybe humility. Would that be the right term, maybe?
Sure. I'm never done. I'm never finished. There's always room for improvement. You know, I'm always, you know, and I know sometimes we look at other people, you know, it's right there. It's easy to do on social media. And I have my idols. I have the women that I look up to, and I look at their pictures and think, wow, you know, they're incredible. And, you know, I just aspire to also be incredible.
So I'm
Best
put you
I
on the
can.
spot. I mean, you don't have, I'm not going to ask you for like the number one person, but who are some women that you look up to in the present time?
Ivy Ryan, I think, is fantastic. She, you know, she's in her 40s. She's a mother. I think I identify, you know, a lot of the women, they're younger and they look fabulous. But I feel like in my age group, the women that I competed with at Universe, you know, it's, you know, we were our over 40 crew, and these women are fabulous. And I, you know, see them on Instagram every day, and, you know, amazing.
You know, one thing I don't understand, before I ask you that, have you ever done Masters Nationals? Would you ever do Masters Nationals?
Well, that's an interesting question. The reason why I did not, okay, so I'm a teacher. I teach high school, and I've been teaching summer school. So the only show that fits into my schedule with teaching during the school year and then, you know, teaching in the summer is Universe.
Makes sense.
So I know that the women this year, they go on Saturday, and the women typically would go Wednesday or Thursday, which is right for Masters Nationals, which is right smack in the middle of the week, and I'm teaching. And so that's why I know it's a Saturday, I think, for women this year. They've changed it, and the men go earlier in the week. But that's really the reason why I did not do it. I've gone to watch it, but I'm gone to watch the men, I should say.
Right, because I mean, I think Masters Nationals would be great for you, especially Universe. I mean, Universe is, I mean, they're all tough shows. I mean, they're all tough shows. You know, Steve does a fantastic job with Universe. Gary does a fantastic job with Masters Nationals. They're all fantastic shows. Now, we haven't even talked about your division, your women's physique, which I think is like, I mean, I can't say enough good things. But before we go into that, I was going to say though, you know, to me, one of the I guess oddities of the fitness industry, and it doesn't apply to my sponsors because, I mean, I love the fact that they're the exception. Titan Medical, of course, and Blackstone Labs. They both have a lot of women in their 40s as part of their sponsored athlete programs and their ambassador programs, which I think is fantastic. But if you look at the overall fitness industry, it's mostly women in their young 20s and their low 20s or, you know, early 20s. And it's crazy because it's women in their 40s, 50s, and beyond. Because, I mean, I've met countless women in their 60s and beyond. But, you know, 40s, 50s, and beyond, that's the most disposable income. So you would think that these supplement companies would want to have women of those age ranges as sponsored athletes to promote their products. Because, you know, a girl that's 22 years old, I mean, she didn't have any money, you know, and if she's in college, she only has money when financial aid comes out. I mean, like, who are they trying to market to? I never understood that. I never understood that. So let me, yeah, because don't you think, I mean, I just think there should be more women in their 30s and 40s that are sponsored. But tell me about women's physique, because women have 5 divisions to pick from. Why did you pick women's physique?
Well, when my first competition, I did 2, and I did figure, and I did what they called fit body, and fit body would be the women's physique of now. There was no routine. The posing was a little different. It still is with a natural muscle organization. And I loved the posing. So I did another show with natural muscle, did the same divisions, did an WNBF, INBF show called the Supernatural.
Oh, you were a natural. That was maybe you still are, but those are some hardcore natty. I mean, like, if you even look at a pro hormone the wrong way, you're shunned. Sorry.
Oh my goodness, I was hooked up to this. I mean, the lie detector test, I thought I was, you know, on TV drama.
Look, one quick thing, and I'll promise I'll shut up. I don't think it's either one of those, but there's a federation. They have something called the Wall of Shame, and it was like going for like the 90s and early 2000s. It had the cheesiest music when you'd go into it, but it was like literally a wall of shame of everybody that failed the test. What I think is kind of like ridiculous about that, some people have a higher natural testosterone to epitestosterone ratios, and they've never touched anything. But it doesn't matter. If you failed, they put you on that wall. I thought that was ridiculous. But anyways, go ahead. So you were go ahead. I'm sorry.
So it's okay. It's okay. I did fit body, and so it was like physique posing with heels. So that's really weird. The front ab shot with heels is really, really odd. They still do it that way. I've done some posing with women who do the show, and it's just an odd look. And then I thought, okay, I want to do NPC. And I thought, I'm so small. And I will tell you, I went into a local gym here, and I was kind of like, brand new gym. A bunch of coaches were there. And a guy looked at me and he said, you know what, Rach? You'll never be anything but figure. And I said, really? I really like women's physique. I really like the posing. He said, no. He's like, I want to coach you, but you're doing figure. And my heart was set on the Mr. Miss Buffalo. And this was in March of 2015. And I thought, all right, well, geez, I guess I have to do figure. Well, guess what? I chose not to do figure. And I did women's physique. It was my first NPC show. There were 6 of us. And we're talking these women, I mean, they were seasoned. They had been doing this show, did other shows. And I'm just, show up. Nobody knew who I was. And I got second out of 6. And I thought, I did women's physique for a reason. And I've been hooked ever since.
And I like nothing against whoever said that to you, but I think it's a huge motivator. When somebody says, no, that's not for you. Look, it's not for you. So, and for your first show, second out of 6. And the thing about it too is like, with women's bodybuilding, and I'm just gonna make this quick aside. Women's bodybuilding was nearly killed. If it wasn't for Jake Wood and Wings of Strength, women's bodybuilding wouldn't be here. And so around the country, there were shows where you might have women's bodybuilding offered, and there'd be one woman or 2. And usually it was one woman that was really a women's bodybuilder and another one that was just there for whatever reason. Maybe she signed up for the wrong division. But with women's physique was supposed to take over from women's bodybuilding. So I 100% hear you when you say there were 6 women, but they were all on, and they were. Because women's physique, that was Dana Lynn Bailey's division. That's what she made that division what it was, and then Juliana took off after that. But I mean, women's physique is extremely in demand to this day. So now,
and then I was hooked.
Yeah, that's so cool. So during that time, doing women's physique, like what I guess the fact that you went to the NPC, no disrespect to the Natty federations or whatnot, but I think when you went to the NPC, is it safe to say that at that point you were gunning for the pro card from the very moment you decided to go there?
Well, not initially, because I really didn't understand. I was still new. I didn't really understand how everything worked. Okay. So I will tell you. So I did the Buffalo in March 2015, and then that summer, I went to college downstate. So I have friends who live in, one of my best friends from college is in Hoboken, New Jersey. So I made plans to go to New Jersey to visit her. And I thought, while I'm there, I'm going to drive over to Teaneck and I'm going to watch Universe. So I did. And I went just for the women, and I really wanted to watch women's physique. And it was incredible. And I remember sitting there, and I went by myself, and I sat by myself, and just watching these women thinking, okay, this is what I want to do, but I have to get myself there. And, being nationally qualified didn't mean anything. I needed to be ready for that stage. And then that became my goal.
And to me, with the reason where I was going with that earlier about, as soon as you went to the NPC, I mean, I would imagine, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I would imagine the level of competition between the NPC and the other federations you competed on would probably be like night and day, I would think, right? I mean, the NPC would be a lot more intense.
Yes.
So, I mean, for you to go to the NPC, to go with the big girls, so to speak, and want to throw your hat in the ring there, you really had to up your game. And what I really like that you did is that you went to a show. A lot of the best posing coaches around the country, and I don't want to name drop because people say I do that a lot, but we'll say go to a show first watch the show first, see what you're up against. Don't find out for the first time when you're actually there. You know what I mean? So I think that was pretty cool. And I actually think it was really cool that you went by yourself, because a lot of times, you know, whether you're going to a bodybuilding show or you're going to a movie, if you've got someone to your left and someone to your right, chances are they're going to be talking to you, distracting you. But you went by yourself and you just took it all in. You even said you went just for the women. So you went there with a mission. And so I think that's really cool.
Thanks.
Definitely. So what did you do to prepare yourself to get to that next level?
I kept going. I kept thinking, oh my goodness, what can I do? You know, do I need to eat more in the off season? That was always a problem of mine, that I didn't eat enough. And, you know, it was always sort of a joke that I was walking around town, you know, very low percentage body fat, which was my own fault. And that was my own thing. And I had to kind of get over that. And after 2015, I made that more of a goal. I needed to eat. I needed to realize and understand that eating is so important, that I'm not going to make any gains with anything if I'm not eating appropriately and enough. And once I learned that and figured that out, my physique did change. You know, not quickly. It's still evolving. It's always, you know, it's a slow process. You know, nothing is quick. I competed again in 2016. I did an NPC Northeast in Rochester, New York. And then in 2017, I went back to the Mr. Miss Buffalo because I'd gotten second in 2015. And I won the overall, which was pretty exciting.
Definitely. You know, the Buffalo show, for folks that don't know, I mean, that's an old show, right? That's like a really long running show. I mean, we're talking decades, right?
Yes, in fact, last year, although it was canceled, was the 70th year or 71st.
Wow. That's insane. I mean, that's crazy. That's actually older than the NPC. And
right.
That's older than the IFBB. I mean, because it probably started out as AAU or something like that.
Yes.
You know, so that's a really long, you know, there's another one, the Lehigh Valley, I think is up to like 75 or something like that. And guys, when they say 75 or something, they can go back to the first year. They've got photos all the years. I mean, it's not a gimmick. It's real. So with regards to the meals, because people really are going to want to know more about this, what was and what is the challenging part? Is it the amount of food, or is it eating every 2 hours? Is it the kinds of foods? I mean, like, or do you just not have the hunger? Like, how, like, break that down even further for us.
I'm always hungry. I'm hungry all the time. That's another issue. But now I eat, you know, now I'm regimented. It's almost good when I'm prepping for a show because I'm purposely eating every 3 hours, eat 6 meals a day. So, but I need to be conscious when I'm not prepping to make sure that I am eating enough calories. I don't consistently eat 6 meals, but I might eat 3 and then snacks. But my meals are larger. I'm not eating just, you know, like 5 ounces of chicken and, depending on the day, either a vegetable with it or maybe 4 ounces of sweet potato. You know, I'm eating a bigger meal. Lots of complex carbohydrates. I'm eat oats all the time. I'm now kind of hooked on to sweet potatoes.
It just lagged for a second.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. You probably had an incoming call because you're very popular.
Oh. I was just eating all my, you know, I don't know what I said last, but brown rice, sweet potatoes.
You were talking about sweet potatoes, and you're hooked on something. And I'm thinking, like, I think I know what you're hooked on. What are you hooked on? Is it the Holy Grains or whatever, that new cereal that's out?
No, I like cream of rice. That's my new thing.
Cream of rice. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I think that's the big thing for a lot of people, because a lot of people, like, I've been noticing, you know, I'll ask them, I'll be like, what's the hardest part of prep for you? You know, I'll talk about training, I'll talk about supplements, I'll talk about food, and food is actually like coming up more and more. I feel like the training part is like the fun part, you know, but the meals are like, you know, a lot of people too, like they struggle. Some of them go for these artificial sweeteners, like for the Walden Farms kind of stuff. They just go nuts with that, but then they have like horrible bloat issues and digestibility issues, and it's like, is it even worth it, you know? So there's a lot that goes into diet, you know? Do you mess around at all with like protein shakes or meal replacement shakes, or is it all whole foods for you?
It's all whole food. The only time I use protein powder is as a condiment. Like I mix it with oats or cream of rice or make pancakes with it. But I'd rather eat my protein than drink it.
Makes sense. And I feel like if you eat it, that's why I think a lot of people like with their protein powder, they'll make sludge or they'll make some kind of ice cream concoction. I think people want to chew. I think it's like I think it might be a psychological thing where you're more satiated. When you drink, it probably doesn't feel like you're actually having a meal. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist or anything, but it makes more sense that you would want to chew it than drink it. Yeah. So with regards to training though, now you don't have to tell us everything, but like what's your approach to training? Are you more into like machines, more into free weights? Do you like mix it up, high weight, low weight? What's your approach?
I definitely mix it up depending on what I'm training. You know, there are certain parts of me that I don't need to train as hard as other parts. So I may, although I give it my all, I might be a little bit more lax and use machines versus weights. You know, I take off. I don't lift the day after I train back, and I don't lift the day after I train legs. That has made, I think, a huge difference as well. I might do cardio on those days, but I do not lift on those days. I recover on those days.
Gotcha. And that was actually my next question, if you do cardio or not, because I've noticed a lot of people are actually pulling it out. You know what I mean? But the problem with pulling it out is they're eating less. So I don't know if that's always the way to go or not. But cardio also has a lot of benefits too. Now, do you do fasted cardio or you just do cardio like throughout the day at some point?
I used to do fasted cardio all the time. That was it. It is one of my favorite ways to do it. Only because, you know, when my kids were little, I could go and do fasted cardio before they were even woke up in the morning, and they would never know I even left. I mean, someone else was here. I wasn't just leaving them.
Right. No,
and then I could, you know, then I would go back later and lift for an hour. I wasn't gone for 2 hours, wasn't gone for an hour and a half. You know, I could do hour lift, you know, 40 minutes or whatever cardio before they even woke up. And that's how I started it, just because I could be home or spend more time with my children. Now I typically have been doing cardio post lift, but only on certain days. Maybe once a week I do it fasted just because it works with my schedule. You know, my son has football, now he's starting track, my daughter has things to do, and you know, I can drive them around in the evening. It makes it easier if I could do some things, you know, before work.
Absolutely. No, and it really sounds like when you say you mix it up, it really sounds like you do. And it sounds like it's a lot of a wait and see kind of process. Like you're looking for reactions, how your body responds. If it works, then you continue. If it doesn't, you discontinue. I think that's really, really smart. So with regards to 2021, I don't want to say that we're totally in the clear, but 2021 certainly feels a lot better than 2020 with respects to COVID and, you know, everything surrounding that. What do you have planned for this year and let's say the next 2 or 3 years competitively?
Well, my plan at the moment is I have a plane, I have an airline ticket to compete in Charleston on July 1st. Nice. For Universe. So that is my plan right now, and you know, prepping my way to get there. And I will see. You know, I guess I'll wait and see what happens there before I make my next goal.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like this interview was good because it's like a good practice run, you know, because I saw that Ron Harris of Muscular Development left a comment on your wall.
Yeah.
So Ron should give you an interview at Muscular Development. He should do that, like on the Ronline Report or something like that. Now, I love Ron, you know, MD, Last of the Mohicans, you know, they still have a magazine, over 100 pages, all bodybuilding. And it's Steve Bleckman to me is like, he's it. I mean, they just live, breathe, and sleep bodybuilding. So I think that's so awesome. So one last question. It's going to be a stupid question, Rachel, but what would it mean to you to get your pro card in 2020 here very shortly?
It would, I think I'd be at a loss for words, which I normally am not at a loss for words. But I think it would be recognition of the hard work and the dedication and the consistency that honestly, that I do. You know, I do put forth the effort. It would just be a recognition, and an incredible recognition of the 8 years that I've been competing and, you know, trying to put my best foot forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I've been following you for a while, and I know how much you care about this. And as soon as I put out the announcement, there were comments coming in and out, and it was like really cool. I got a lot of DMs, which I don't normally get. You know, I don't normally get people saying, "Oh, she's an awesome girl." Yeah. I'm so excited to watch this, you know, so I don't normally get that. So I think that that's a really good thing. And, you know, I think 8 years is a long time. I mean, you've really invested yourself into this, and I feel like the people around you know how serious you take this. So I think that the pro card would be validation, and I know that once you get that pro card, you're going to continue on. Because some people get a pro card and retire. I don't think that's what you're going to do,
You're
right?
right. I mean,
Okay, good.
you're right. No, I want to continue, and I think it'd be incredible to compete as a Masters pro. Is what I think. You know, I'm going to be 47 in September. You know, so I think that'd be really incredible.
And I should just say one last thing to top that off. You could totally compete as a Masters pro, but you could be like my good friend Peter Sciallo. He competed as a Masters pro, won a few shows, then he went into the Open and he won there too. So I mean, I think you could be very competitive in the Open as well. But you know, get your feet wet at the Masters pro level and then try the Open and break some dreams of like take all their trophies, you know. But I cannot get over that picture that you posted. Was it today or yesterday? With like the
That was
striations in your delts. That was sick. That was absolutely
that,
sick. And there's no special effects. That's you. That's all you. That's so cool.
I
So
the gyms closed. You know, the gyms were closed for a long time, and then they closed in my county back in November. So I joined a gym in the next county over, and I love it. And that's where I took that picture yesterday. And yesterday was arms. It was just biceps and triceps, and I had just finished a set, and I was just posing a little bit in between, and I thought, oh my goodness. So I put I'm the dork who put her phone up and the barbell rack and
yeah.
took the picture.
That picture is wicked. I mean, you could sell ice to an Eskimo with that picture. That picture is fan-freaking-tastic. So, listen, I really want to thank you for doing this. And I would love to do one with your pro card here shortly. And I really, really appreciate it. So please tag Strength Addicts on your post, your post stories, and what's the other one? Post stories and reels. Reels. You got to do reels on your road to pro, okay? Promise.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think you're fantastic. I think you're going to do big, big things. I think you've already done big things, honestly, but I totally get where you're coming from. You want the pro card. You've waited long enough. You've worked long enough. You deserve it. So I totally understand that, and I know you're going to get it. So thank you once again for doing this interview. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that came, everybody that sees it on replay. Please share it. And for Rachel Newman, this is Christian Duke, strengthaddicts.com. Thanks again, Rachel.
Great. Thank you. You're welcome.
Bye.